Welcome back to AM Northwest. This November, as we honor the men and women in our armed forces, we want to shine a light on a local organization helping veterans deal with the unseen wounds of war, PTSD.
2 weeks ago, I woke up from a nightmare I was having. It was intense, it was violent, and the next thing I know, and this happened to be with an overnighter with Nikki, and I woke up to Nikki licking my face. I realized it instantly that I'm having a nightmare. Nikki's here, he's waking me up. This is really happening, and I instantly felt comforted. He laid down, he was like right there, and I could pet his head, and that was super special. That was real special to me because I had heard stories that dogs would do that, could do that, and I got to experience it myself.
Here to share more, we welcome the founder and CEO of Northwest Battle Buddies, Shannon Walker, and service dog Caliber. Good to have you with us again. So good to see you.
It's so great to see you. So great to see you again, Helen. And thank you so much for having me on the show.
You bet. Let's talk about first PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and you see it in veterans quite a bit. So tell me about that.
Well, invisible wounds of war.
Right.
You know, our veterans, you know, they may not be wearing the uniform anymore, but there was a price that our American heroes paid for our freedom. And even though they're not wearing the uniform anymore, they're still paying a price for our freedom. And it can be completely debilitating. You wouldn't even know when we walk with our veterans, one of the issues that they have, or one of the struggles or tensions they have to manage, is the fact that they have a service dog and people go, well, it doesn't look like anything's wrong with you. What's wrong with you?
You can't see it.
You can't see it.
Right.
But isolation, nightmares, lack of sleep, self-medication,
we have so many veterans who end up homeless too because they're not able to get the help that they need. And explain how Battle Buddies helps them, how their canine companion helps them. We saw one example.
Yeah, Scott and Nikki, it brings tears to my eyes watching them because every veteran, I mean, I'm so proud of them. Our service dogs are an amazing tool that helps mitigate the symptoms of PTSD. And the symptoms of PTSD can be unbelievably debilitating because of the isolation and everything else that comes from that our veterans have to deal with. Just very quickly, we had one veteran that was on 23 medications a day just to cope through life. And after having his Northwest Battle Buddy service dog, he's down to 1 medication a day.
That's great.
It's an incredibly holistic way for veterans to be able to attack this issue and live life with freedom and independence.
And explain, so you get the dogs, they're given to you, right?
Yes,
how does that work?
Sometimes they're given to us, sometimes we get them out of shelters, and sometimes we actually breed them. But our puppies are raised in foster homes, or if they come in from a shelter, we train them for 5 months professionally. Then our veterans come from across the nation, and they train with us for 5 weeks. Actually, we have 12 veterans graduating this week.
That's great.
12 more American heroes, and then we gift them. And we have now, this week, our number of service dogs gifted will be 224.
Wow.
And we have not lost one veteran to suicide, because the suicide rate amongst our American heroes is 22 a day.
Right.
And we have not lost one because our service dogs are absolutely working for our veterans.
How do you pair them? Do you pair them? Do they pick the dog?
They do not pick the dog. We pair them.
And why is that important?
It's extremely important because, bless their hearts, our veterans don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And all people pick dogs for reasons beyond what they truly need.
Yeah, usually it's I had that dog as a child.
Or that dog looks really cool.
Yeah.
But they don't recognize the energy level, you know, the size, the tendencies of the dog, but also what limitations the veteran might have, whether it's physical limitations, if he's in the workforce, if he has children in the home. But we absolutely pair those dogs, and we are pretty much 99% spot on in our pairings. And then if we do see within that 5 weeks that we need to make a quick adjustment, we always have dogs in the pipeline that we can easily replace to make sure it is an exact fit for that American hero.
You know, I remember doing a story with you years ago now. And the veteran was when he got his dog, he was actually able to walk in a mall with his daughter, and because he hadn't been able to do that before, because spaces with a lot of people really frightened him.
Yep. Some of our most challenging days are the very first day in the mall, the very first day in Walmart, because for a lot of these veterans, it's been decades since they went out into those areas.
Right.
And if you saw them in the very first time we do it, it is met with so much anxiety, sometimes overwhelming tears, and it's almost debilitating where they can't move, and that is where they start to use the dog as a tool. grounding techniques, pressure therapy, things like that. But now at the end of 5 weeks, if you saw them now, they're walking through the mall, they are more comfortable, they are talking, they are laughing. It is so life-changing beginning day one. And for me, it's just an honor to walk this out with them. It's just amazing.
I've got to believe they've got the dogs, like Caliber, becomes a part of your family as well, right?
Absolutely. It is, when we say that these service dogs become a lifeline to these American heroes, that is exactly what they become. And it isn't just about the veteran, it is about the family unit.
Yeah, because they suffer too.
Absolutely. And you know, one of my employees, his parents each have a dog from Northwest Battle Buddies. And he's going to do an interview for me this week. And I was thanking him, and he says, Shannon, my dad didn't take me to my first ball game until after he got his service dog Phoenix.
Wow.
He goes, I want to do anything I can to tell the story about the power of these service dogs.
Yeah. You have a graduation ceremony tomorrow, so you must be excited about that,
I'm
right?
super excited to watch these veterans walk away with their head up, their shoulders back. And this is the other thing. When they met us on day one in the first 5 weeks, they are so scared, and sometimes you can hardly hear them. They will be standing in front of about 100 people tomorrow.
Wow.
And it is their choice,
That's
but they
a big
will
deal.
stand up there with a microphone and they will speak about how this service dog is already choosing their life. And they're going to choose to do that.
Right.
And to watch that transformation in just 5 weeks. So just imagine what 3 months, 6 months, and years to come will bring for these veterans.
What does it mean to you to know that you've probably helped veterans stay off the streets? From becoming homeless, from committing suicide, from keeping a marriage and family together? What does that mean to you?
It's my purpose. It means everything to me. People ask me, they say, well, what do you do in your spare time? It's like, I made my hobby a career. This is what I do. This is, I feel, one of the many purposes that God has given me. And it is I tell our veterans, it is an honor to serve them. So how does it make me feel? Humbled, honored, grateful that I get to do this.
And you're carrying this on in the, and basically in homage to your father, who was a veteran.
Yeah, he was. He served during the Korean War, and he taught me to believe in God, family, and country. And when you're in the presence of a veteran, you're in the presence of a hero, even though he never considered himself one. And I've never met an American hero that ever thought they deserved it, that ever saw themselves. In fact, one of our veterans at graduation, just a couple groups back, the first words out of his mouth is, I'm not a hero. I just did what I thought I needed to do. And he was so broken. And now he's engaged. We continually get messages from him. His dog is running on the beach. He's living his life. And all he wanted to do when he was in front of us, prior to getting his dog, he says, as a man, I just want to shop for my clothes by myself. Without my service person. And yet now he's out doing so much more.
I love that. We want to mention again, you have the graduation ceremony tomorrow at Royal Oaks Country Club in Vancouver. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.